Cool, so a whole 2 days of you on Food Network.
Pretty bitchin',
Tell us about Man Finds Food and what that was like to film and work on.
Yeah, so Man Finds Food is basically an exploration of a city's hidden gems, off the beaten path restaurants or even completely hidden restaurants, and off the menu dishes that you really can only order if you're in the know.
Oh, okay.
And it was, I'm going to say this, I'll go on record saying this, not only was it a complete blast to film, in my opinion, it is the best food travel show I've done.
Really?
I actually prefer it to Man vs. Food. I think a lot of my crew who've been with me since feel the same way by virtue of the fact that we weren't anchored to the challenge, that we really got a chance to explore. The other thing is, and I always love those shows where like you see the crew or like it you know, we all know there's a camera there. When you're watching some of these shows, like the Hulk Hogan family one, they're trying to have a conversation. It's like, oh yeah, you really snuck up on her with your audio guy, and she's clearly wearing a mic pack, and like, come on. For me, the fact that we completely acknowledge that we're walking into a restaurant with a camera, and you know, we have a one-by to light everything, and there's an audio guy. You are a little bit of a bull in a china shop at points, but to really acknowledge it, we put GoPros in the car because we legitimately did get lost trying to find these hidden restaurants. There's a place in Chicago, it's a restaurant, phenomenal restaurant, it's in a house. We drove around the block, conservatively speaking, 6 or 7 times. It was pouring rain, like Noah was like working on the second level of the ark that day. We were driving around in this SUV. You know, my sound guy's got his mixer on his lap, the camera guy's sitting in the passenger seat filming, and my director's like, it's a right. Well, okay, I made the right. Where is it? Do you see the restaurant? And it's so real. But I will also say this, food-wise, dish for dish, the best show I've done.
Really?
There is not a weak link. Like this, there's not like...
There wasn't one thing you found like that you didn't like?
So much so that my crew and I, and we even talked about this, my sound guy Eric, and he's like a brother to me, and you know, that he's on camera, but we were talking about it, and he says it on screen, he's like, I would come back and eat this, and we actually did. We filmed at a place in Austin. My security, the guy he was doing security on the set, he was doing an event for the Scotch company. We went, and we're like, oh, we're hungry. And we all went back to the locations we had filmed at. Yeah. No cameras there, no obligation. We paid our way. It wasn't like come back for a free meal. We chose to go back to the place because the food was that good. I have subsequently been back to quite a few of them because the food is that good. And it's one of the few things I will guarantee that there is simply a food dish for everyone. You know, Man vs. Food, 2 dishes in a challenge, and that's it. Here, these are places that even the locals don't know about.
Yeah.
And you'll find, and again, because we kept it real, you know, I executive produced this, I would say roll on everything. We're filming on the streets of Boston, and it's this legendary hamburger spot there, and this guy comes by, and he's like real hardcore, like Boston, like Celtics jacket on, like hardcore, like Yachty from Cambridge or Gloucester. And this guy sees me, he's like, hey Adam, Man vs. Food, right? And I'm like, nah, new show. And he's like, oh, you're filming, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, come here. And you see this all on camera. And I said, hey, how are the steaks there? Oh, they don't have steaks. I go, yeah, they do. What are you talking about? And I said, you know, in the back, there's like a hallway. And there's a 13-seat gourmet steakhouse behind this legendary burger joint. The guy's like, I've been going here for 7 years, and I didn't even know this place existed.
So how did you find it then?
Because I'm awesome. No, I'm not that kidding. No, I mean, just a lot of research. I've got family from Massachusetts, and I also, it helps to know farmers and meat purveyors too, because you learn where they sell stuff and where they like to go.
What do you think most Americans would view of British food? I think it's got quite a bad reputation.
It has a bad reputation, but I think it's because Americans don't know. You know, I think the prevailing wisdom is everything's either fried or boiled. And according to my friends, like maybe 20, 30 years ago, that might have been the case. You know, my friend always says, you know, back in the day, if it was terrible, you could only get like a Ruby Murray, you know, and that was it. You know, that was it. It's just like,
it's good.
All you had. Cheers, mate. So the thing was, you know, and that's something else that I think Americans don't realize. Like, this massive Southeast Asian community has resulted in you guys having some of the best Indian food on planet Earth. There is a world beyond the fish and chips and the bangers and mash and Chip Buddy And that's the thing. That's what makes it over. Because if you think about it, what do we have that's an English restaurant? We probably have a pub. So it's all going to be Scotch eggs and fish and chips and shepherd's pie, all of which are wonderful, but all of which, if eaten regularly, will put you 6 feet deep. So I think the British diet or British culinary landscape is maligned unfairly.
Mm-hmm.